The Washington Redskins are changing their nickname. What does this do to their collectible market? Also, is this going to affect another team's collectible market in the near future? Stick around and find out. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. I am your host, Matt Powers of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. Thank you again for joining me. If you guys can, check out the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Give me a follow over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. All right, it's July 2020, and the Washington Redskins, I guess, are changing their nickname. As we all know, this has been an issue and a topic lately, and definitely for the past few years, so it just seemed like this was kind of inevitable. This video is not about whether that's right or wrong. I have no opinion on any of that stuff. This video is strictly about how this affects their collectible market, maybe potentially what items you should be picking up, and if this is going to be affecting another team down the road and something to look at for the future. It's kind of interesting about this whole thing is you've actually seen some platforms have actually started banning Washington Redskins collectible items for sale. So just keep in mind that you may not be able to sell some of this stuff on certain platforms in the future. But if you're looking for some cool collectibles for yourself and you don't want to be selling these in the future, then this video is for you. And I'm going to have a bunch of different items here that you should definitely be considering picking up for the Washington Redskins. Just recently I saw a mini helmet, not even signed. You know, one of those standard $25, $30 speed mini helmets. It was going up an auction and it was priced up to $250, I believe. Whether or not that item got paid for or not, I don't know. But that is absolutely insanity. I mean, over 1,000% price increase on a mini helmet that wasn't even signed. So there obviously is a big demand for stuff like this because they're not going to be making items with the Washington Redskins logo anymore. Okay, so with all that recent news and all that information I just gave you, what should you be picking up as a collector for the Washington Redskins, all right? Number one items you should be picking up right now, and I'm talking about just, you can do signed items, you can do raw items, whatever you want to pick up. Number one item, full-size specialty helmets, okay? Those white matte ones, those Eclipse ones, the amp ones. Really, you can even go with the Speed Flex and all those kind of, really any full-size helmet with that Washington Redskins logo, I would be picking those up in droves, especially the specialty ones that just have came out within the last few years. There's definitely a less of I guess you can call it a print run on those. Not as many out there, especially like those Blaze ones. These are going to be worth a fortune in the future. Imagine like a Blaze helmet signed by Joe Theismann, or a white matte helmet signed by him, any of the old school Washington Redskin players. That stuff is going to be a gold mine and very, very hard to come by. So if you can find these items, which is that's the hard part, find any full-size helmets, especially those specialty ones, I would be picking those up ASAP. You can even pick them up signed and wipe the autograph off if you want. It's not going to be 100% perfect, and you can have an autograph go over it, and you can probably barely even notice it, but that's definitely something to think about if you can't find any of these things unsigned. Number two item I would be picking up are mini helmets, especially the throwback style ones. Again, the Redskins haven't had a bunch of great years recently. Joe Theismann and Riggins and all those guys, Art Monk, those are the players that I think about when I think about the Washington Redskins. Doug Williams, for example, the older guys. So getting some of those throwback ones would be kind of cool because you're not going to be able to find those. But again, any mini helmet, I gave you the example on the standard speed one going for $250. Again, you're probably going to be spending a decent amount of money on these. But again, in the future, which is what we're always thinking, these are going to be worth a lot of money. Any of these things with the Redskins logo. Number three item I would be looking for are licensed photos of any of the old school kind of Redskins players. The PhotoFile just recently closed down. If you don't know who PhotoFile was, they were the New York-based company that was the number one producer of licensed photos. That's where you would buy all of your licensed stuff now. I guess Fanatics does a little bit of it. but they weren't doing nearly as much as PhotoFile was. So it's been quite difficult to find licensed photos. Now, you know the difference between licensed and unlicensed. I don't have to explain that to you. Quality is obviously much better with a licensed photo. So I would be trying to find as many of Joe Theismann photos as I could. You can find signed ones, of course. Doug Williams, be picking those up. John Riggins, whatever you can find on those, pick those up. Hold on to them. Get them signed when you want, or sell them unsigned if you want to. But that would be what I would be picking up as well. And number 4 item would be any licensed jersey for the Redskins. Now, the Redskins, obviously, they make the custom jerseys, the ones with the Philippines jersey, the $20 jersey I've talked about. They make those, but they're very, very similar to the Nike one. Obviously, they don't have the Nike logos on there, but the Redskins jersey just doesn't have a lot of flair to it. So the custom jersey and the Nike jersey look very similar as far as the actual style of it. But what I would probably be picking up is if I could find some officially licensed, some Reebok ones, some of the older school ones, potentially some of the Nike ones. Maybe kind of picking those up a few here and there. Not as many as I would as of the full-size helmets. I get the full-size helmets, you got a lot more versatility in it. With the jerseys, obviously, you got to pick them up of a specific player, so you're going to have to get it signed by that specific player. But if you can find some really, really cool officially licensed jerseys, again, these aren't going to be made anymore. Those could be definitely worth a lot of money if you find the right player. So, with all that being said, what other team is this going to potentially affect? And I think you know where I'm going with this. It's our hometown team here, the Kansas City Chiefs. Whether or not they're going to have to change their name in the future, I have no idea. Okay, again, I have no opinion on any of this stuff here. But if they do, this is something to be thinking about for the future. Again, everything I just talked about with the Washington Redskins is going to be applying to the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes just won his first Super Bowl title with Super Bowl 54. Could that be the last Super Bowl title for a team called the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't know. There's a decent chance, especially if they get a lot of pressure and they got to change their name in the next couple of years. Super Bowl championships just don't come around every single year. The NFL is a super competitive league. So this might be the last one for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it might be the last one for Patrick Mahomes under the name Kansas City Chiefs. So that's going to be a highly collectible items, especially those specialty helmets like I talked about. I talked about those on my Patrick Mahomes top 5 autograph video. I'll link it up around here so you guys can watch that on what items to get for him. Another item to consider is, these have been one of my best sellers here, the Kansas City Chiefs Star front page newspaper. Now, as we all know, newspapers are dead, right? They're struggle bus city, right? But newspapers have a sort of nostalgic feel among collectors. They're just cool. I mean, so getting a Super Bowl or the Star frame newspaper, I sell those for $149 framed. Getting those with Patrick Mahomes on the cover, again, that could potentially be the last Chiefs Super Bowl. Again, I'm just speculating here that they may have to change their name. There's been talk about them doing so. Not as much as with the Washington Redskins, but something to think about. Again, as collectors, we always want to be looking into the future and be a few steps ahead of the game in case something actually does happen. So hopefully that helps you kind of navigate this little world with these name changes here. Again, I would be going all in on the Washington Redskins. Again, those specialty helmets, picking those up, mini helmets, the photos, licensed photos, and also the licensed jerseys as well. So, hey, comment below. Let me know what you guys think about how this is going to change the collector market here for the Washington Redskins. Do you see it going way, way up, or see it kind of staying the same? What do you think about the Chiefs? Is that going to be changing as well? Again, hey, check me out on the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com, and give me a follow over there on Instagram @PowersAutographs. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode.